can quickly restore your home or business as good as new. BioStar is independently owned and operated with 24/7 emergency service and discounts to veterans. Call BioStar at 844-424-6782 or online at restorationbiostar.com. Governor Whitmer delivering her State of the State address before the legislature in Lansing tonight, and among the topics the governor is expected to focus on is pressing lawmakers on both sides of the aisle to work toward reducing Michigan's medical debt. Governor Whitmer's speech starting at 7 this evening. U.S. House passed a budget blueprint yesterday calling for an increase in funding to secure the southern border, a boost for military spending, and raising the nation's debt limit by $4 trillion. It also calls for $4.5 trillion in tax cuts over the next decade, including renewing the 2K17 Trump tax cuts. A jury convicted a Fenton man yesterday for trying to kill his ex-fiancée. A guilty verdict against 55-year-old John Seaman, who had alleged that the woman was shot in the face, eventually losing an eye, during a failed suicide attempt. Prosecutors say the victim's testimony had indicated a lengthy history of domestic issues between the two. Michigan GOP Representative Josh Shriver yesterday introducing a resolution urging the U.S. Supreme Court to reverse a ruling granting same-sex couples the right to marry under the protection of the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. Red Wings beat the Minnesota Wild 3-2 last night, while the Flint Firebirds are set to skate against the Sarnia Sting tonight. 7 p.m. face-off at the Dort Financial Center for that one. College hoops tonight in the Big Ten. Michigan State will be playing at Maryland. Pistons with 7 wins in a row going for number 8 tonight when they battle the Celtics at Little Caesars Arena at 7 o'clock. Down in Florida in the Grapefruit League, Tigers lose to the Orioles 8-7 yesterday. And to cap this one off, frightening few moments on the landing strip at Chicago's Midway Airport yesterday. An incoming Southwest jet preparing to land instead had to pull up and climb when a business jet suddenly rolled right into its path on the runway. The FAA saying that the business jet had entered the runway without permission. That's 5 things you should know from 103.9 The Fox.
Yeah, I'm not going to be buying any tickets on any airlines anytime soon. It just seems like the aviation industry has just gone nuts. Speaking of crazy train stories, on 103.9 The Fox. Sports weather.
We got possible rain and snow at times in the forecast throughout the day, with temperatures to top out around 41 degrees. Generally calm winds to start with. They'll become southeasterly at 5 to 8 later this morning. Cloudy skies overnight with some snow a possibility overnight too. Heading toward tomorrow morning, temperatures bottoming out around 33. Some rain and snow showers in the forecast for tomorrow. Just cloudy skies otherwise as we max out around 40. And then for Friday, another wet day. Starts off cloudy, but then perhaps bringing more rain later and 46. Right now 26 in Flint, and in Saginaw 28.
This is the Fox Home Morning Show.
Flint's Classic Rock Authority.
103.9 The Fox. This is the hour you get your choice of prizes, including monster truck tickets, Led Zeppelin.
Laser Led Zeppelin.
Laser Led Zeppelin.
And great food from Jester's.
Yeah, coming up in about a little over a half hour from now. It's called Steph's Fox Flashback, and it's exclusively here on 103.9 The Fox.
Well, here we go with Wednesday. It's our simul-stream day once again here with Facebook folks, and a lot of those already on with us. Also on YouTube, a lot of those with us. And on Twitch, we also have folks jumping on in to help us out on what people are now acknowledging to be Hump Day. So there's that. Act accordingly. Rachel, that's Royal Rachel, who is here with no alerts once again. On Facebook. Wonder what that's about. You know, maybe I'm just kind of guessing here, but maybe it's got something to do with the fact that my phone updated its software, and I was complaining about this loudly yesterday. But my phone updated its software, as they tend to do, those Apple iPhones tend to do every once in a while, and I make sure that I do it when I want it to be done rather than them automatically updating it at some inconvenient time for me. And ever since that it's been updated to the latest version of the software, this thing has been screwed up, particularly my emails. And I was complaining about that yesterday. I don't even get started on that right now, but maybe that's got something to do with it, because up to now, it seems like you guys on Facebook have been getting your alerts. I don't know if you're not getting them now. I don't know, other than that being the change in circumstances may possibly be the thing. I don't know. but just lucky to see that we were here. Well, we're lucky that you made it here on Wednesday. And of course, you guys usually have four-legged guests on Wednesday, so I'm kind of envious of you. We only get to do that once a month. Chris is here from New Mexico. Good morning to Chris. He's on YouTube now, and he always gets his appropriate notifications. Rob Suka has joined us. Good afternoon, Finland. Also, we have, who else is with us today? Canada Dan. Snow Friday night again in Canada. We're, you know what, still 3 weeks away from spring, but only 3 weeks away from spring. So we're getting there. We're getting closer. Although I guess from what I understand, the weather is going to kind of transition toward more springish weather over the next several weeks. It looks like we're going to probably get early spring in terms of the weather conditions, but we won't completely lose it. There'll still be the occasional fall back into the wintry stuff even after we make the transition. But at least we're going to have more and more of the stuff that we're more enjoying, which is this warmer kind of thing. Like yesterday. Yesterday, for example, we were in the mid-50s, talking Fahrenheit here, for highs in both Flint and in Saginaw yesterday. So everybody was happy about that. Dale's here from Arizona. Good morning to Dale and to Sheila, who is here from the land of the three bridges, bringing sunshine. We had a lot of that yesterday. Today might be a little bit more of a problem getting it for any length of time, but hopefully we'll get at least some stretches of it. 26 right now. As I say, the countdown is down to 21 days until spring. 3 weeks from today it arrives, 5:01 a.m. And it's also 11 days away from the time change where we kick our clocks forward an hour to daylight saving time. Well, looking forward to that, too. Yes, sir. I want to tell you what. But we'll do it. And then after that, it's up to the people who make the laws to decide whether or not we're ever going to stop doing this back and forth with the clocks thing. Because everybody wants to do it, but nobody can agree on where to stop this back and forth thing. Do we stop on daylight saving time? Do we stop on standard time? We wait and see. Our favorite Marine is now here on Facebook. Good morning to Heather. It is in the 60s in Northern Virginia. In this week, it's been lovely. Boy, it sounds like it has been. I mean, we've been really happy the last couple of days. Yesterday more so than the day before because there wasn't much wind to really cool things down. Today and tomorrow are supposed to be a little messier. Still in the 40s, but not feeling as comfortable certainly as yesterday was. So there's been a lot of heavy-duty melting going on around here lately. Jacko's happy because now he can see a lot more grass. And when he's looking around for places for his bathroom break, that's important. Yesterday was the first time that we went all the way around the mall in Birch Run for a while. Normally, it's either lots of snow or lots of cold, lots of wind, something, and he doesn't want to go out very long or very far. Take care of things and get back to the car. Yesterday, hey, he was brave and bold, and let's go the whole way around. So we did. We went over a mile around, and he was happier than hell, and then he slept half the afternoon after that. Okay, we also have Tina and Linda. We have Thelma and Louise both having joined us from New Jersey and the township, respectively. Ladies, welcome to the 26th of February. No special real big day today for those who want to know about what national day it is. It's not a big deal other than to let you know that if you are on YouTube, we again urge you to like and subscribe and tell your friends to do the same so that we can grow this group, particularly on the YouTube side. And of course, our schedule remains being here on our simul stream every day except those that start with a Tuesday. Those are IG days. That's Instagram. And tomorrow, Rob Suka looks forward to this one. On Thursdays, we'll be in the Hal Hole Saloon where everybody knows your name. And we'll get your drink order, and we know which one is going to be ordered there because he's got his tent set up in front of the front door, ready to order it. Speaking of Instagram, hey, before that, good morning to Charlene, who is now joining us on Facebook. I'm going to assume you're still in your vacation mode out by a beach, sipping a Mai Tai or whatever you're doing, because usually she's in West Michigan. But the last time we spoke, she was on a cruise. And I think that was supposed to last a while, so I'm assuming you're still there, hopefully having a good time. Welcome into our little party here, our little soiree on the 26th of February, where, as I started to say, speaking of Instagram, we had a little problem, meaning me, with Instagram deciding to block one of my replay sessions, and it wasn't having to do with our Hellraisers gathering. This time it was one of those that I posted on my Instagram stories, and I posted this on TikTok also. And it had nothing to do with our radio show. It had to do with when some relatives were in town recently in January, not long after Christmas. We took a trip on that weekend over to Bronner's in Frankenmuth, which you all know is the Christmas haven of the world. That's the largest Christmas store in the world. And so it was one of those times to go over there and check that out for those who hadn't been there. And some of the folks that we took over hadn't been there before. So we went over there, and I did a little bit of video over there and posted it on Instagram and on TikTok. And Instagram caught me doing it and blocked it, muted anyway. Didn't block the video, but it muted all of the sound. What do you think was the reason? And by the way, Charlene is still in Florida enjoying beautiful weather and friends, and that's great. Happy for you. Way to go. Florida. Every little breeze seems to whisper Louise, Tina says, from the, again, Thelma and Louise tandem here. So here's the problem that happened when I was videoing from Bronner's. Bronner's in-store plays music, all Christmas music, right? All the time. No matter when you're going in there, and they're open 361 days a year, but whenever you go there, they're playing Christmas music. And in this particular case, you can always hear it if you're not saying something like here on the radio, right? So we went in there, walked around Bronner's for, had to be a good hour and a half, probably close to 90 minutes. And a little bit of that time spent videoing some nice stuff with the music in the background. Some of that's copyrighted. In fact, all of it's copyrighted, I think. And we got nailed. And so because some people that are publishing music that's fed to Belarus and Russia, we had our entire video muted. You can still see the video if you ever watch the replay of it, if I ever have it. I think it's still on TikTok. But it should be muted now, at least on Instagram. I don't know if it's muted on TikTok, but it certainly is on Instagram because I saw it yesterday. And that's why.
So we'll stand by on that one.
All right.
Crazy train story just around the corner here. I want to remind everybody, though, that you're listening for a Midday Munchie today. You can win throughout the day on the Fox. There's lots of chances to win, including Midday with Steve Driver on the Fox Workforce, where every day he picks out a song.
Looks like we've got Tammy B here. Speaking of lands of beautiful weather,
Today it's Born to Be Wild.
San Diego checking in here.
Sometime between 10 and 3 on the Fox Workforce with Steve Driver. And when it plays, just be the first caller to get a King Arthur's Pasties and Bakery gift certificate from Steve Driver at 103.9 The Fox. Also, coming up here on the Foxhole Morning Show starting Friday at 7 a.m. is our Fox Feeding Frenzy. Just a reminder that we'll be raising money again for the Food Bank of Eastern Michigan and giving you cool stuff when you make your donations. Make sure you're listening all day Friday for the Food Bank of Eastern Michigan benefit here on the Fox. It's called the Fox Feeding Frenzy. Starts at 7 a.m., goes till 7 p.m. this Friday on the Fox.
The Foxhole Morning Show. Johnny Burke and Steph all the way.
And again, we put the cart before the horse.
No, you're about a half hour away from Steph's Fox Flashback.
Perfect.
That's Friday.
All right, I got you.
But we do have Steph's Fox Flashback still coming up this hour, and your chance to not only win, but pick your prize, too.
And it's all the service of AeroTax. Gather your documents now so that AeroTax can ensure that you're filed on time. They have a referral discount for savings on next year's taxes. And you can drop off your paperwork from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. No appointment necessary. You can call AeroTax with questions, 810-743-5990.
Hey, soccer fan, check out the Pride of Flint.
Rob Suka is demanding that we show your smile source. So, just like he demands his drink when we go to the Hellhole Saloon, and he will tomorrow, here is your request answered from the 365 Dogs calendar. We're going to show you Benny Waffles today. Benny Waffles is a basset hound who loves going on walks, but only to the neighbor's house because his little legs can only go so far. He's a basset hound. He lives in New York City, New York. This is Benny Waffles. Doesn't say anything about this being a rescue dog, but many times it is, because that's what we have loaded up on the 365 Dogs calendar. Loading up on our other platforms right now. Hot Jim is here from Phoenix, where it's 57 Fahrenheit at 5 a.m., going to 88 today. Well, we're starting to head toward that 100-degree mark eventually. Going to get there. Roseville Guy has now visited from Twitch. Good morning, Roseville Guy. Apparently Benny here, Benny Waffles' primary occupations include hunting for carrots around the house, pushing his beloved bouncy ball toys under the furniture so that his humans have to retrieve them. When he's done being funny, he'll lay on his back for as many pets as he can cajole out of his nearest human. Benny Waffles, right there. Okay? Whoops. Hang on. Here we go. He is so cute. Yes, he is. He is absolutely cute. We'll get to the traffic here, and then I got another one I'll show you, like right now. 2 potential slowdown spots for you right now. Clayton Township, we got a crash on Sheridan Avenue just south of Bristol Road to pay attention to. And in Gaines Township, another crash. This is on Lansing Road, the 12,100 block of Lansing Road, right on Miller Road. No issues going on any of the freeways that have been reported. And throughout the day, if you need vehicle city traffic information, you can check it out at classicfox.com/traffic to place. And if you happen to spot a problem as you're driving on the freeways or these surface streets around here, let us know at 810-230-WRSR. That's 810-230-9777 to be a traffic tipster on 103.9 The Fox.
It's 7:14, and wow, Wednesday's Powerball jackpot is $248 million. Play Powerball at your favorite Michigan Lottery retailer or online at MichiganLottery.com. Buy your tickets today because we're talking big.
That's right. Big. I guess we're going to say cajole is going to be the word of the day today. So thanks to Linda determining that we're going to go with that one. Learn how to spell, pronounce, and use in a sentence the word cajole. Okay? Maybe all right. Powerball jackpot, $248 million in American funds. Now, we, a lot of times when we're showing you your smile source, we also add to that, when it's available to us, somebody that has been submitted to us for the Hal Razor's Pet Parade Pet of the Day. And today, it happens to be, while Tina uses her word in a sentence, let's cajole Hal to stay on longer today. Oh, come on. Really? Really? We're going to go that route. I don't have to think about it. Depends on what we get into as far as discussion. You want to discuss Maddie right now. This is Dale in Arizona. Has a brother who has a dog, and this is Maddie. Now, I don't know anything about Maddie other than what you're seeing right there and the fact that that's this dog's name. What kind is it? How old is it? How did Dale's brother happen to acquire it? All of that kind of thing. But that's what we have for you today. This is Maddie. There you are. Aw. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Yes, sir. Now, if you happen to have a dog or a cat or an armadillo or an anteater or an ant that you'd like us to see because it is your favorite friend and pet, you can simply send me a picture at that email, and we'll have it on the Hal Razor's Pet Parade Pet of the Day in a future episode. Despite the fact that I'm having lots of email issues, they're only affecting what's going on my phone, and that's happened since the updating of the software on the phone. I still am able to get my emails, and I field them in my laptop, and that's where I'm able to do that. So that you also can take a look at some of our Hal Razor's best furry friends. Okay, so big thanks to Dale for submitting Maddie for us to be able to go at today. Okay. On the subject of dogs, Wet Nose Wednesday today. That's right. That's what they have over there. Rachel, Royal Rachel, and her particular show, which goes also 5 days a week, this early hour of the morning. When she has a moment, she'll step over and check us out. and we're all happy about that. She's on Facebook, for those who don't know, and her show manages to have sometimes it's a dog, sometimes it's a cat. It's certainly an adoptable animal, and they do it every Wednesday. We only get to do it once a month, but they do it every Wednesday over there. So good luck getting a home for whomever shows up in your studio today, Royal Rachel. That was basically the reason how Jacko ended up here, is because her attention and their attention over there was called to him when he was at that time named Jacob. Then he came over here. The doggies miss my treats. See, that's the thing. When I was over there and they did that, I made sure I had a pocket full of treats. I've never quit doing that. I still got them now in case I get attacked by a dog on the road. I know how to fend him off. I've always got a pocket full of treats with me, but that's what we did in the studio. And those dogs would show up, and that was the coolest thing to do, too. Play games with them, because for treats, they'd do anything you wanted. Great stuff. Absolutely. Mostly dog and just a cat every once in a while, says Rachel. And that's the kind of thing that happens over here. And of course, despite the fact that all of them need homes, the cats they don't have necessarily the cute factor. They got the attitude factor. If you fall in love with a cat's attitude, you'll probably wind up wanting to have that and then acquire one or more. But in fact, I think that's what happened over at, even though she's got multiple dogs, I think that Steph also has more than one cat, if I'm not mistaken. But the dogs have the cuteness factor going for them, and so many times those dogs, as soon as you see them on screen, those are able to find a home before the day is over, for sure. Here comes a question and a debate having to do with a dog, and I want you to listen up to this one and tell me what your thoughts might be on this as we welcome in Lori Ann on Facebook. Good morning, Lori Ann. She's our biker chick. We found out the other day when she came in. They get ready to get the bike. Boy, yesterday would have been a great day. If you into the bikes, yesterday would have been the day to have it out. Because we hit like 50s, 53, 54 in Flint, about 55 up in Saginaw for a high. It was awesome. It was terrific. Here's the question, and this comes from Michigan. We have a veterinarian in Michigan, and this is over in the Grand Rapids area. So this is going to be closer to the west side of Michigan. But there was a veterinarian found what she thought was a distressed dog, was tied to a truck. Didn't look to be in the best of shape. So she untied the dog, took it with her to her clinic, which was a 2-hour drive away. Performed procedures to relieve a severe urinary tract infection and remove a rotten tooth from this dog. She named him Big B because it was in front of a Big B's coffee store that she found this dog, and turned out it's a 16-year-old pit bull mix. 4 months after this happened, this dog is thriving because this got the best of veterinarian care. Here's the problem. The dog, which is now named Big B, actually belongs to somebody. It belongs to a guy who is homeless. And the dog is now 15 years old. And when the veterinarian saw this dog, it wasn't in the best of shape, as we just got done saying. She had to treat it for a severe urinary infection and it had a bad tooth, etc. But it belonged to this homeless guy who has basically nothing else in life right now. He has no set place to live and no other family or friends that are on his side, basically. It's just this dog. But the dog doesn't get the best of care because of this homeless guy is having limited resources to get it for him. Doesn't even have a license for it. Boss Lady Penguin has joined us now on Twitch. Good morning to Alabama. Welcome in. Lori Ann saw a bike on the way back from Detroit airport cruising down 75 after she dropped her friend off. So here we go. It's time almost for the biker season to begin. And it will become more and more biker-friendly weather consistently as we get on through the next several weeks, because we're only 3 weeks to the day away from spring arriving. So here's the scenario. You've got a veterinarian who wants this dog because she found it tied to a truck with absolutely nobody around and felt that this probably was an abandoned dog, because a lot of them get abandoned that way. We have one in this area that way, a couple of them. And so she treated it. About $3,000 worth of care that she did on her own. This veterinarian wants to keep the dog, but this homeless guy doesn't have anything else but this dog that he's had for 15 years. What do you do? What do you do with this situation and this scenario? Who gets this dog? Kim is here. That would be the one that we have from Michigan. Michigan Kim from up in Saginaw, our literary expert. Good morning to Kinney. 2 weeks, 6 days till spring. Yeah, it arrives 3 weeks from today, 5:01 a.m. Eastern Time. So it's either way, the dog looks like is going to be a winner because it's got somebody who really wants to care for it, and it's particularly since it's in its senior years. 15 years old, that's a pretty advanced age for a pit bull mix that is now thriving. But it's only thriving because this veterinarian helped it out with a lot of care. Thousands of dollars worth of care that this homeless guy that's had this dog for 15 years can't afford to give it. But again, doesn't have anything else in life, just this dog. And anybody who's had a dog knows the value of a person's psyche and fullness of heart if you have one or more on your side.
Hey, this is Jen from Cops and Robbers in Flushing. I love 103.9 The Fox. I can't start my day without it.
The Fox.
And that's kind of the way things go with the Hellraisers. Some of you can't start your day without us. Hopefully that's the case anyway. And if you do have that kind of a feeling about us, tell your friends, make sure that they're here too so that they can help with you. And then when we're done here each day, you can compare notes with your friends about what did we talk about? What did that idiot on the live stream say today that made him look like a jerk? You know? Trixie heard me say pit bull and her ears picked up. This is we saw Trixie recently on our Hellraiser's Pet Parade Pet of the Day. In fact, just last week I believe we showed Trixie, right? Yeah, you remember the song Summer of 69, Rob Suka does, the old Bryan Adams song. Now reporting live from, I don't know where, because he's every day someplace different. Copper Boy, that's our world traveler Jason from the JNN Action News scene. Morning, Jason. Where are you reporting live today on YouTube? What do we got? And what kinds of things are you running across? Are you on the road or back home? And by the way, here's the other thing. When you were in Vegas, did you win any money? Because, the last time we talked to you when you were in Vegas, you were at the casino somewhere, I think. Hopefully you won some money, but if you didn't, sorry. Coming up this Friday, we have our annual Radiothon. Now, thankfully, because the station's doing the Radiothon from the studios, we don't have to sacrifice our live stream. We can still go live with you. Sometimes it wouldn't be done that way. We'd have them on location. Johnny and Steph would be somewhere where they would have to take their remote equipment to be able to connect to the station. And if that happened, then I couldn't connect, and I would have to cut my live stream off so that I could use the phone to monitor the station. But that's not going to be the case this Friday. It's a 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Food Bank of Eastern Michigan Radiothon. That's who benefits from what's called the Fox Feeding Frenzy, and that's coming up this Friday morning starting at 7. Now, in Linda's case, she says the vet can be the backup for the homeless guy and dog trying to solve this problem here. Ask for donations or GoFundMe for the dog's care so that the homeless guy could have his dog back, but at the same time, maybe acquire some means to be able to keep this dog as healthy as possible that a 15-year-old dog can be. Give the dog back, but keep the eye on both the dog and the guy. That sounds like, to me, it sounds like the best possible solution. Now, it looks like Jason's in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So, Chris, if you're still around there, you got Jason rolling into your vicinity in a FedEx truck. You might want to stop in and let him stop in for a cup of coffee or something while he's out there.
It's classic rock with a
103.9 The Fox, sitting at 26 degrees. We're heading up to 41 with a chance for rain and snow throughout the day today, otherwise a cloudy day. Rain and snow are likely to happen overnight tonight as well as it drops down to 33, less than a half inch expected. Tomorrow morning, though, we have some morning snow showers during the commute, mixed with rain later in the day, cloudy, breezy at 40 tomorrow.
Yeah. A little bit of snow tomorrow, but we're still going to be in the 40s. We have gotten away from the polar vortex effect, it looks like. Now it's just inching toward that more consistently springish weather. The possibility. Okay, I guess Rob Suk is trying to give us the Finnish pronunciation and wording on New Mexico. Uusi Mexico is how he says it's on YouTube, by the way, if you can't see it. Rob Suk is trying to do the translation for us. Because if you ever see any of Rob Suka's stuff that he posts online, it's all done in Finnish. So it still amazes me. You got to be using some kind of, I think I asked you this, you got to be using some kind of a translator device to be able to know what we're talking about here. Because it doesn't seem to me like you speak English when you're on any of your postings on social media. It's all strictly in Finnish, and none of us know that. At least how to say any of that. Linda now tossing out this possible idea when it comes to who gets the dog. Having a room in the back for the homeless guy so that maybe he'd be able to use that as a home while he helps out with the animals in exchange. Maybe at the vet's office. Now, see, there's a thought. There's a thought. Boss Lady Penguin had mid to high 70s yesterday in Bama. 74 Fahrenheit, going to get hotter. Of course it is. Now, you guys are going to be constantly warmer than we are, just like what Hot Jim is dealing with. They're going to 88 today in Phoenix, which to them is like very, very comfortable. Once they get into the summertime, they're thinking 88 is something that brings out the winter coats for them. Sometimes you post in English also. Really? Okay. That's cool. See, I'm of the belief that everybody in the United States really should, and you can't really legislate it, but you could have really a strong push to have everybody in the United States at least learn a little bit of a second language. I mean, they tried to do that in school, and that's how I got, when I was in both grade school and high school, Spanish. Learned how to speak Spanish for a while, and I turned out to be the best in my class at it. But then once I got out of school, there was nobody to speak it with. And if you don't use it on a regular basis, you lose all of that skill. And now, as it turns out, there's more and more availability of Spanish-speaking people in our midst, certainly around here, to be able to speak it with them. Tina wants to ask you, Rob Suka, if it's the stuff that you post that's in English is in your stories pages, because Tina does follow you on social media, and I'm assuming she's talking about maybe Instagram. Okay, now apparently we've had a switch over. Boss Lady Penguin's moved to YouTube because Twitch is acting up, so she's moved over. So not a whole lot going on now in terms of what's going on Twitch. No coat yesterday in the township because it was that warm. I went outside a couple different times without a coat on, and it worked out really well. But today won't be the same. Today it looks like it's going to be a little bit messier. Tina has a nephew that visits Finland and loves it. So then, Tina, do you tell your nephew that you have your own personal friend from Finland that you talk to on a regular basis? And maybe they should look each other up when he's there? It appears that Finland is warmer now than Flint. That's probably true. Well, we're at 26 Fahrenheit right now. What you got? Boss Lady Penguin went to the doctor on Monday in shirt and a t-shirt, shorts and a t-shirt, and it was 46 Fahrenheit. Hopefully all went well there with the doctor.
It's Classic Rock 103.9 The Fox and Hysteria. Def Leppard, 7:33, just ahead of Steph's Fox Flashback, and your chance to choose a prize here on the Fox moments away. Are you a multiple sneezer, by the way?
No, we talked about this last week, remember?
Did we talk about
I am physically incapable of sneezing.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I can't. It gets stuck in my sinuses.
I was going to bring this up as a teaser, but apparently we've talked about this already. But yeah, of all the bodily functions that could be contagious, thank God it is the yawn, not the sneeze or some other bodily functions that we have. But multiple.
Are you thinking about some of those below the waist functions?
Yeah, exactly,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Multiple sneezing, turns out that most of us do that.
Great.
I do 2 to 3 every time.
Do you?
I have a buddy, though, that literally can probably rattle off 20.
Oh, wow.
And he can't help it. It's
Huh.
nonstop.
So now here's a funny story. Yesterday afternoon, up on my YouTube feed, I see advertising for a sleep app called Sleep Aid.
Right?
I downloaded the app, and it looked pretty cool. It tracks your snoring, if you talk in your sleep, and I was going to install it until I noticed that it also tracks how many times you fart during the night.
That's a great idea.
I'm like, no, I don't want it.
But what if they're silent? They can't hear it.
I don't know.
Oh.
I didn't want to risk it.
I'm going to put that app on my phone. That sounds
Really?
like fun. Now, my wife, the other day, my wife likes white noise to sleep to at
Yeah,
night,
yeah.
you know, and a lot of people do that.
Sure.
She downloaded a new one. It's called Green Noise. It's supposed to be even better for
Yeah.
sleeping. All right. Unfortunately, she didn't buy the paid version, so she got interrupted and woken up in the middle of the night with an ad.
Of course she did.
They're running an ad.
Why do they do that?
Yeah, with a jingle or something to wake her up.
Yeah, well, as soon as I found out that app tracked how many times I fart in a night, I uninstalled it. I don't need to know any of that.
Hey, for those of you who don't know, Billy Strings is a Michigan artist who is just shaking it up out there. He's mostly country, but kind of a bluegrass guy.
Yeah.
He's a picker, and he's really, really awesome. Roy Moore turned me on to him, and he has been making inroads all over the place. Now, the latest on him is that, according to Craig Wilhelm, who chats in our 103.9 The Fox Facebook chat window, when you go to the Facebook page there and see our streaming video, you'll see that chat window. He said Billy plays on the new Ringo Starr album, along with his old roommate, the amazing Molly Tuttle. This also led to Billy using Ringo's plane to quickly fly from the annual Renewal Festival in Buena Vista, Colorado, back to Michigan for the birth of his first child, River Roy. That's the name of his baby, River Roy.
I love that.
But yeah, he apparently is flying.
Okay, here's an interesting little tidbit from Tina, a.k.a. Thelma, who wakes herself up by that sound that we were just discussing moments ago on the air.
Decanters of nice liqueurs and some nice stemware.
Often?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's an attractive stewardess or two.
Now, you got Billy Strings got some dates coming up, right?
Yeah, he's going to be in Van Andel in Grand Rapids. Those dates are May 30th and May 31st, which, by the way, Johnny Burt,
Right.
is a Friday and a Saturday.
Oh, so we can
So
actually
we could
go.
actually do that.
But it's been in Grand Rapids?
Yep.
All right, so his kid's name is River Roy.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's kind of an odd name, but there's a father out there in the news this morning in limbo after his daughter's name was incorrectly listed as, are you ready for this? Unikite 13 Hotel.
What?
Yeah, it was a computer-generated name. Somehow they got on her birth certificate, and now she has never received a birth certificate, I guess, but it would be on her birth certificate if they don't fix this. She's never received a social security number because her name keeps coming up as Unikite 13 Hotel. This is This guy and his lawyer talking about this bizarre paperwork nightmare.
It kills me that I wasn't able to be there when she was born because it wouldn't have happened like it did.
The document that is her birth certificate has the term for government use only on it. And obviously, Jason, not being a member of the government, does not have the ability to use that document. When I started working with Jason, I was in disbelief at what was happening.
I wonder what they're going to have to go through to get this name changed. And Dad sounds a little bit like Elvis, by the way.
He does. He really does.
But yeah,
So he's had to hire a lawyer
just to get this
just to
straightened
get
out.
this fixed.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
Well, it's our government,
Yeah, I know.
so we should not be surprised.
Bureaucracy, which we're trying to get rid of, and think it looks like in some places, but it's highly controversial, as we know. 7:38 here in the foxhole right now. 22 minutes in front of the top of the hour, and guess what?
The Foxhole Morning Show. Johnny Burke and Steph still to come.
With Steph's Fox Flashback, immediately next, your chance to win is coming up in mere moments.
And it's a service of AeroTax. Gather your documents now so that AeroTax can ensure that you're filed on time. They have a referral discount for savings on next year's taxes. And you can drop off your paperwork from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. No appointment necessary. Questions for AeroTax? You can call them 810-743-5990.
February 28th and March 1st.
There we go. That is correct. Rapsuka also knows English enough to be able to tell when our programming brings up certain elements like traffic. That's next. He now knows the schedule. He could probably program us. Tell you what, if you work for cheap, you probably could, because we have a different program director now than we've had. I have a question that I want to ask you guys in a minute. I don't know if any of you are going to know the answer to it, but it is something that has been driving me crazy lately, just recently lately, because of so many occasions coming up that have called it to my attention, just in the course of every day doing stuff. But I'm going to wait until the traffic is done, because there are those of you who are waiting with bated breath for that.
Amazing things happen. Here, exceptional is expected. Here, heroes come in all sizes. Hurley Children's Hospital has earned national recognition.
Tomorrow, for those of you who are still trying to figure out what's going on, it has nothing to do with Jardians, not this time. Now that I've figured out that problem, and what was puzzling me for a while, and it had to do with apparently the song, the jingle that people couldn't stand. I, again, have no idea why. It seems to be okay, but it was driving people nuts, so they quit using it. And so they made the guy who had originally done a version of it with singing the jingle, other than the women who have been singing it and still do. The guy is told, just don't sing it. We're going to give you some crazy nondescript music behind you, and we're going to just let you smile and dance on your version of this ad. That's cool.
Time at participating U.S. restaurants. Offer valid only during breakfast hours. Exclusions apply. Additional terms apply. Traffic.
3.9, the Fox.
Vehicle City traffic.
New issues. We have one in Flint at Pasadena Avenue at DuPont Street. A crash there to slow things down for you. Pasadena Avenue at DuPont. Also, we've got in Clayton Township, Sheridan Avenue just south of Bristol Road. We're still cleaning up a crash there. Ditto in Gaines Township for the one on Lansing Road at Miller Road. And so far, 75, 475, 69, and 23 are moving along crash-free and delay-free. Throughout the day, you get Vehicle City traffic info updated for you at classicfox.com/traffic. And if you happen to spot a crash, you can tell us about it at 810-230-WRSR. 810-230-9777 to be a traffic tipster right here on 103.9 The Fox.
The Foxhole Morning Show on 103.9 The Fox. Steph's Fox Flashback.
They were named after a slang term. George Harrison and Jeff Lynne gave to faulty equipment that they were using to record a B-side for a single that George had recorded in Bob Dylan's garage studio in California. Now, they referred to the equalizers and the limiters as Wilburys, as in, we'll bury that mistake in the mix. They were almost, check this out, they were almost the trembling Wilburys. That was George's idea. Thank goodness that Jeff Lynne suggested the traveling Wilburys instead. Would they have sounded the same as the trembling Wilburys? I'm just really not sure. do it from their album, Volume 1. It is the the Traveling Wilburys with End of the Line on 103.9 The Fox.
Love this song.
Yeah!
What is the biggest radio in the USA, says Rapsuka? Do you mean by that, which is the most popular radio station? Because every station that serves its own particular market is popular. There's not one that's really head and shoulders above all the other ones at this point. There used to be a little bit more of that years ago when there weren't as many stations that were really quality. A lot of the mom and pop stations weren't necessarily concerned with that, and they really shouldn't still be. It should really be more about the information that the station puts out. How local is it? How is it going to benefit the listener directly, as opposed to how slick does it sound? And particularly in the bigger markets like New York City and in Los Angeles and in Chicago, it's all about the quality of the sound and the smoothness of the presentation of the station, and not necessarily about what information is the station putting out there that the public can gain a lot of benefit from. They're all concerned about the music that they're playing, but the fact is that music that they're playing, and the same thing here. I mean, you can get the music we're playing pretty much anywhere if you've got Spotify or one of those other music services or streamings. But what do we do between the songs that benefits you? That's the thing that differentiates one station from another. I see that Culver City is now here. Eric is here. Good morning to our musicologist. That would be Eric in Culver City, California, right at the moment. And also joining us from Massachusetts, Sweendog. Welcome to Sweendog. What's up? All right, here, now since I got all you guys here, before I enjoy my breakfast of the day, which is my banana, we found out in Australia that these things are real large. I don't know what it is, but they say that our Australian friends have constantly told us, geez, those stems on your bananas are really large. I don't know. Don't eat them, so that part's all right. But here's the thing that I have. When you are dealing with electrical equipment, not electronic, but electrical equipment, do you ever concern yourself with how long or how short the cord is that you have to plug it into an outlet in your home in order to use that appliance or piece of equipment? Here's what I mean about that. I have this microphone over here. Let's start with that. This microphone that I have over here, not this one that you're seeing that I use on the air, but this other one that I have in the studio here. This is another one that I use, but I only use this to record with. When I'm recording audiobook material or voiceover material for commercials or whatever features I do, or even recording some newscasts for our Owasso station. That's the one I use. It is connected to a cord that then plugs into my laptop. And that cord, I could probably walk around the block and then come back around, back down here again and plug into my laptop. That is that long. Amazingly long electrical cord. The same thing exists with an electrical cord that I have upstairs that I use for some electronic equipment. I always trip over it because it's so damn long. But then I have a toaster and a coffee pot that barely have enough cord to make it to the wall. They're like a foot and a half long at best.
You are playing for a cornucopia this week of cool stuff. We've got a gift certificate for Jester's, good for lunch or dinner. Always good food there at Jester's. 2 tickets and 2 pit passes to the Monster Truck Tour happening this weekend at the Dow Event Center in Saginaw. We've got tickets for the Saturday show on March 1st. And then we've got 4 tickets to Laser Led Zeppelin, new at Longway Planetarium inside the Flint Cultural Center. Now, that Laser Led Zeppelin show happens Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and runs through May 10th. Here is the question. Sadly, only 2 members of the Traveling Wilburys are still with us. Name one of those musicians.
Ah, man.
Really?
Oh, I know one.
Okay, yeah,
one
obviously.
For sure. I know
yeah.
one for sure, but I'm trying to think of who the other one would be. All right, let's see if we can get it.
All right.
810-230-9777.
Good morning, the Fox.
Jeff Lynne and Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan Actually, Jeff Lynne is still with us.
Jeff, is he?
Yeah.
I was thinking Jeff Lynne was dead, too.
No, you know what? I hope I just didn't ruin that question. Because I double-tracked it, and,
Oh, well, you might be right.
All right.
We know Dylan's alive, so
yeah, so you get the prize irregardless, sir. Sorry about that. Can you turn down your radio a little bit?
I'm going to turn down the whole damn car.
Yeah, you've got a lot of noise.
We're going to turn it down for him, okay?
There you go. Thank you very, very much. Who's on our phone this morning?
Tony.
Tony. All right. Tony, did you hear your choices of prizes here this morning?
I did. How about those monster truck tickets?
Those Monster Truck Tour tickets and pit passes are yours, Tony. Who just hooked you up this morning?
Seth Barber, 1039 The Fox.
Perfect. You hang on tight.
103.9 The Fox Bumpers.
Yeah, Jeff Lynne is still around. So long, Dale. Thanks for Maddie and the picture there, and we will see you after you've had another very, very educational day at school in Arizona. Okay, Tina's going in to peel eggs in the kitchen. You might want to put the eggs in a safe rather than peel them, because you may need one someday, and or you may need money someday, and you can sell it. Those things are valuable. I'm telling you what. Tony from Jersey. Here's the thing, and I saw you saying that you can tie up the cords, which is true. In fact, when they come here, as they're packaged, when they arrive, any of the appliances or the equipment, they're always tied up, folded up neatly and tied up. But then you unfold them and you tie, and then you throw away the little twist tie that held it together, and boom, you don't have it anymore. But I'm more concerned with this. The companies that make those products, whose responsibility is it, and what exactly do they use as the criteria for how long or short to make those cords? Because they're certainly not doing it the way it really should be done. There are cords that are way too long, absolutely no need for them to be that long, and then there are cords that are way too short to be of versatile usage. I mean, you can only plug the coffee pot and the toaster into a certain area of the kitchen, because if you try to go anywhere else, you can't plug it in unless you use maybe an extension cord if you want to do that. But why do it for something like that? That's the only other answer that I can think of. It's maddening to me to figure, and I never really thought about it until I remembered that I have this incredibly long one that I use with this microphone, and there's another piece of equipment upstairs that, again, has an incredibly long cord to it. And it made me think, why in the hell do I have this extreme? Why the hell can't we have maybe a happy medium length of electrical cord that all appliances or everything electrical uses? Like, all right, just pick one. 2 foot length, 2.5, 3 foot maybe. One of those, instead of you have one that's a foot and one that's 2 miles long. Oh. Have I thought about using a wireless microphone if I had the equipment for it? Well, in this particular case, this is a station. I don't have any say over this mic I showed you, because it's a station-issued one. I didn't get that one myself. That was what came with it, and it was, again, a real long cord that came with it. And as Linda points out, life is a conundrum. And love is a battlefield. Kimmy says now she has all 4 dogs in the bed. Boy, you would run afoul of Johnny, who doesn't think that any dog belongs in a bed. All 4 of them. Is there any room for you? Can we go outside, asks Rapsuka. Well, we might have been able to earlier, but we can't now because we're getting too close to the news. As you know, because you know the programming now here. We're getting closer and closer to that. You got to get ready to set your tent up, because we have the all-night wait until the opening of the Hal Hole Saloon tomorrow morning on Instagram. For those who don't know, tomorrow begins with a T, and every day that begins with a T, we're on Instagram. And the people that run Instagram at Meta are always watching us like the proverbial hawks, to find out where we're going to run afoul of their copyright rules, and they can therefore block us doing something. And over that, we can commiserate, and you can come in and you can sit down at the counter and you can order your favorite beverage, whether it be a hard one or one with just caffeine to get you awake. With Rob Suka, it's all that kicky drink called, like, Fireball is what his favorite is. See what's going on in the air now.
Download the Fox mobile app at ClassicFox.com and we'll follow you.
Okay. That's enough of that song. Otherwise, we'll get flagged for that, too. Too tough to sleep, Rob Suka says. Well, you're in the middle of the afternoon. You would have been sleeping now anyway, would you? All right. Here's the deal, Rob Suka. What are the hours that you keep? How early in the morning do you get up, and what time do you go to bed at night? Because when you join us, it's always the afternoon. Everybody here is just kind of getting going. So Kimmy's got 2 pits right now. That's Trixie and Nala. I think we saw them the other day. Well, Sugar is who we saw the other day. We have the French Bulldog Sugar and a Pomeranian named Shadow. They're all rescues. All of them. Sween Dog wants a Long Island iced tea. We'll save that order for tomorrow when we go to the Hal Hole and we get the counter set up for the beverage orders. Ain't doing it today, but we'll be there tomorrow on Instagram. Have I heard of the app Rumble? It's another live streaming platform. I have heard of Rumble, Eric, yeah. Don't know how many people have that, though. One of the things that we have to be concerned about when we're talking about what choices, and we did this when we were trying to figure out, particularly when this whole TikTok controversy, well, it started and it's going to happen again because we're going to get into March. We're going to be back into that. Are we going to keep or are we going to lose TikTok debate again? That's going to be coming up. That was only a temporary stay of execution when they passed this idea to let TikTok stick around for another 90 days to try to work a deal out so an American company could buy it. And that's just providing the Chinese company ByteDance wants to sell it. Nobody ever said from ByteDance that they wanted to. How about a banana split for today? Well, that'd work. I have the banana to work it out with if you want that. This looks like it's pretty good shape too for a banana split. We could do that. Now from Pakistan on Twitch, it's Tall McCartney with cricket stick in hand. Welcome, Tall. What up? It is like YouTube and Twitch, says Eric. Yep. Question is how many people know about it. That's one of the things that we're always concerned about is we want to get on a live stream that is popular enough and widely known enough so that we're going to be able to get people over here because they'll have heard of us. And if it's one of those kind of niche live streaming platforms, and there are several of those out there, as it turned out, Haps was one of those, it doesn't necessarily draw that many people over here. And when you're in mass media communication, you're looking for the largest number of followers you can get. We have our core group right here. But then you want to add to that. That's why we keep saying on YouTube to like and subscribe to us whenever you can, because then that helps us grow the group. It raises the profile, and YouTube tosses it out and exposes us to more people so that more people can join this crazy group of guys and gals and Hal raisers and stuff.
Big Deals website is your go-to for
Rob Suka in Finland is saying good morning, Pakistan. So Tall, there you go. Finland is acknowledging you here.
You'll find it all categorized on the website. It's very easy.
We ought to go back to Periscope if people would. Well, if Periscope existed, we would.
You can go straight there.
If it existed in its previous form, we would.
Fox.com website. There's a link there. And make sure you like FoxBigDeals.com on Facebook, please. 7:56 here in the Foxhole, the 8 o'clock hour, coming up with a Foxhole People poll for you. Make sure you stick around for that. And don't forget, we're just a little bit, 2 weeks from Monday is St. Patrick's Day.
Already?
Yeah. I tell you, this first quarter of the year is very strange. But
It is.
Catholic Charities has their St. Patrick's Day boxed lunch sale they want you to know about. This thing has gotten huge over the years. And it's $12.
Sheila does.
For your lunch, your boxed
She says
lunch,
on
which
YouTube.
includes A delicious sandwich stacked high with corned beef and Swiss on rye, served with chips and coleslaw and a pickle and a treat.
Tina, Tall is just sad he missed your shower again. I don't know that we've had a story from the shower in a while.
Because that's what some people do. They, for instance, Northgate ordered 500 of these for their employees, which is really cool. And there are several other companies that ordered hundreds, sometimes 20 or 30, depending on your company. You can do that, and you can even order just one. And when you show up on Monday, March 17th, between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. in your car right there in front of the Catholic Charities building on Chippewa Street in Flint, they'll deliver it right to your car. Now, you can even take your chance and show up in that line even if you haven't pre-ordered, but the pre-order assures you to having a sandwich there for you, because they do tend to get a whole lot of people there, and they sell a lot of box lunches. They really do. You can order it in advance at CatholicCharitiesFlint.org. Now, if you want free delivery, which they're offering for bulk orders of 15 or more, you have to do that by March 10th, or a week from this coming Monday. Again, at CatholicCharitiesFlint.org. The St. Patrick's Day box lunch sale coming up, and I love this thing. It's huge. And if you want to be a volunteer, you can call Catholic Charities anytime and talk to them about that. They
cool.
also could use volunteers for this particular day, too.
Sure.
Because they're going to be, there'll be well over 1,000 box lunches sold. Well
So
over.
so if you're one person wanting a lunch, you should get there sooner than later.
If you're not planning on reserving one in advance by calling and reserving one at CatholicCharitiesFlint.org, yes.
Okay.
All righty, it is 7:58 coming up on 7.
News time. We learned more about Tina earlier this morning. 5 things you should know from 103.9 The Fox. Brought to you by Shea Automotive Group. Right now, buy a car from the Shea Megalot and finance it through Financial Plus Credit Union. Get a $150 gas card. See dealer for details. Just Shea'n. Well, the House passed a budget blueprint yesterday, 217 to 215 the vote, with just one Republican voting no, while Democrats stood unified in opposition. That plan calls for an increase in funding to secure the southern border, a boost for military spending, raising the nation's debt limit by $4 trillion. It also calls for $4.5 trillion in tax cuts over the next decade, including renewing the 2K17 Trump tax cuts. A jury convicted a Fenton man for trying to kill his ex-fiancée. The guilty verdict against 55-year-old John Seaman came after court testimony in which it was learned that Seaman had alleged that the woman was shot in the face, eventually losing an eye, during a failed suicide attempt. But police said their investigation showed that accounts of the incident given by Seaman didn't add up. Prosecutors said that the victim's testimony had indicated a lengthy history of domestic issues between the two. We're learning of the death of a 3rd child in Michigan being attributed to the flu. Other than confirming the death, state health officials aren't saying anything about what community that child came from or any other information. One of the previous 2 young flu victims lived in Genesee County. The other one was down in Wayne County. Red Wings beat the Wild last night, 3-2 in Minnesota. While the Flint Firebirds are going to skate against the Sarnia Sting tonight at the Dordt Financial Center. Puck drop there at 7 p.m. College hoops tonight. You have Michigan State playing at Maryland. Pistons with 7 straight wins, trying to make it 8 when they battle the Celtics tonight at 7 o'clock at Little Caesars Arena. And down in Florida in the Grapefruit League, the Tigers lost to the Baltimore Orioles in an 8-7 slugfest. And to cap this one off, nobody won the Mega Millions jackpot last night, so it rolls over to $197 million for Friday's drawing. Tonight, the Powerball jackpot will be worth $248 million. That's 5 things you should know from 103.9 The Fox.
103.9 The Fox.
Today's forecast calling for possible rain and snow at times throughout the day, with temperatures topping out around 41 degrees. Generally calm winds to start with. They become south-southeasterly later this morning at 5 to 8 miles an hour. Cloudy skies overnight with some snow, a possibility overnight heading toward tomorrow morning in the commute. Temps bottoming out around 33. Rain and snow showers in the forecast for tomorrow with just cloudy skies otherwise. Should max out at around 40. And then for Friday, starts off cloudy, perhaps brings more rain later, and 46. Right now, 26 in Flint, and in Saginaw, 28.
This is the Fox Whole Morning Show. Morris on Wasso.
Flint's Classic Rock Authority.
103.9. The Fox.
Where do you rate on the road rage scale? And by the way, I can tell you where you rate just by what you're listening to.
I saw this morning, actually.
We've got a story on that coming up. 103.9 The Fox. Pink Floyd to kick it off, though, this hour.
You all got to have a smile source to see before you head into your Wednesday here, and this one isn't smiling at you because he can't. It's a basset hound who doesn't get to walk very far when he gets to walk because he's got too short of legs. His name is Benny Waffles. Walks to the neighbor's house in New City, New York. I think I said New York City once, but it's New City, New York. And it's Benny Waffles. That's your smile source today. Doesn't look really happy, though, does he? I guess from what I understand on the page here, it says he rolls over on his back, you give him petting on his tummy, and he'll smile at you all day long. That's Benny Waffles. From the 365 Dogs calendar, which hopefully at some point contains a page dedicated to Jacko. We'll find out as we go on through the rest of this year here. All right, guys, thank you very much for your attendance and your attention and being here on a Wednesday morning, hump day, so behave accordingly. And have yourself a pleasant, peaceful, productive day, because tomorrow we are heading over to the Hal Hole Saloon, where everybody knows your name, and we'll take your drink order. You can sit on down at the counter, pour out your troubles to your friendly neighborhood barkeep. We will give you not only a drink of your choice, whether it's coffee or something with a kick to it, Fireball, or if you'd like a light snack, we might be able to accommodate that as well. And you can complain all you want to your fellow Hellraisers. That'll be coming up tomorrow morning on Instagram, starting at about 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Until then, have yourself a great rest of your Wednesday. Come on back here in the Hell Hole with all your friends, the Hellraisers, tomorrow morning, okay? Okay.